All right. We are gonna get started. Welcome to the BoomertalkYT Thursday cast. We don't normally do this on Thursday because I thought today was Friday. I think I'm losing sense of time. But I am here with Nekomimi Punks, my good friend, Mr. Matt. How was your week, Matt?
Doing all right, just it's slow, it's quiet, catching up. Trying to make sure I hit this deadline, and
Mm-hmm.
um, actually I have it open, so I probably shouldn't pop it up on my stream window.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Little too spicy for Twitch.
No, too spicy for Twitch.
Not just a little. Who am I kidding? This is not.
It's a little bit too close to the VJJ. It's a little bit too close to the Nepales. The Nepales.
Naples and Venice are clearly visible on this map of the world. Let's just say.
There you go. There you go. If you want to see the Naples, go over to Nekomimi Punks' stream on Pixiv.
Yeah, we're not doing that today. I think because we're probably running about an hour and a half, and then I think I'll cut stream, and then maybe I'll chill out for like half an hour. But new Genshin event is pretty cool. It's taking up way more time than I like it to because I want to be productive.
Mm-hmm.
But addiction strikes again. So the more you play, the more free shit you get.
League of Legends is doing that too. As long as you keep playing like games and stuff, you're gonna get like new skins, new emotes, lots of really cool stuff. Lots of really cool stuff. They kill it every single year for League of Legends. Like one of the characters has like this Emperor skin where when he teleports back to base, he kind of sits down and he starts playing Go, and it's pretty awesome.
Like, does he bust out the board and everything too?
Yeah, he does. He does. It looks
Shit.
amazing, dude. It looks amazing. You should see some of the animations for like the Chinese New Year's events. Absolutely amazing. But continue what you were saying.
Oh no, I was just saying. I think quitting smoking was probably easier than quitting like stupid mini game in Genshin.
But you like what you like. I can't knock you for it. You know, if you like Genshin Impact, fantastic. You know. Anything else on your week?
No, nothing really. I know you've been having a bit of a rough day, but hopefully that just picks up for you. How's the rest of your week going?
It's been all right, dude. It's been all right. You know, I got to gold rank for season 11 of League of Legends yesterday. Pretty proud of that. I'm hoping to shoot for platinum rank this season. One of my characters is benefiting a lot from one of the new items. He's like flying at Formula One race car speeds, and I think he ended up being the fourth most banned champion in the current meta out of like 154 characters. He's pretty OP. Pretty OP right now.
That's the interesting thing, right? Because then it almost sounds like he got an indirect buff.
Yep. Yep. Because this new item makes him go like super fast, and the thing he was lacking was mobility because he didn't have a dash. He didn't have something to get him over walls. He pretty much just walks up to you and then hits you in the face, which I like. It's like it's simple. It's straight to the point. He's a solid tank. He's a solid DPS. He can be whatever you want. I like that. I like that.
It's one of those interesting things, right? I know this is a weird segue, but I never got into the idea of bans. I think that's also one of the things that keeps me from playing taking MOBAs seriously.
I think I can understand it to a degree because sometimes when they change up, I guess the items or they indirectly buff some of the characters, some of them actually turn out really strong. I can understand why my character is being banned at I think a 33% rate out of all games, which is really high. I think it was his ban rate was pretty much nothing. It was like 0.1%, and then it shot up to 33% in like season 11.
Was it bad to the point where if you pick this character, your own team would kick you?
Yeah. Oh, there was a character like that. His name's like Ivern. He can't damage anybody. He can't damage anybody. He's purely support. He does no damage. He just shields and heals your team. And if somebody picked that character, people would get visibly mad. And they would quit the game as soon as it started. Because then it would be a troll pick. But, yeah. I'm playing DBZ Fighters. My hit is starting to get pretty respectable. I'm pretty proud of it right now. but I'm having a hard time trying to find a second and third character because I'm deciding on which assist will help my character the most because Hit's not really up there on the tier list, and there's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of
So
reasons why.
I gotta ask because I never really got deep into Dragon Ball. Is
Mhm.
it better to build your character, build your team like MSP, where there's two support characters for your main,
Mhm.
or is it better to build something like Team Scrub, where all your characters are basically very good and they sort of support each other, but they don't all pile onto one specific game plan?
It feels like whenever they release like new characters, like the newest character was like Super Baby and Ultra Instinct Goku, and before that was GT Goku. What happens was like they were really strong. They're still really strong. So what happens is they build the team around those characters. It's like building a team like around Virgil and like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or 0 or whatever. It feels that way to
Yeah,
me. And
like Zero and Strider have to be built around, right?
because I'm playing like a character that's not that strong, I have to build around him. Otherwise, by himself, he's not very good. I just think Hit is super cool. That's why I'm using him. You know, like I like his moves. I like his skill set. I think all of his combos look really cool and stuff. So I'm gonna play that character, and I'm gonna do the best I can. You know.
I mean, but that's the thing too, right? Like he's low tier now, but it might just be true because no one's actually figured out the tech for this character.
Maybe it could be like Gen. It could be like Gen in like Street Fighter 4, which I was playing for a while, but then Shen took it to like a whole different degree. You know, he won Evo with it. You know, very proud of him.
Dude, he came up with so much tech, right? And
He
he
did.
came up with at least 7 different frame traps.
Like
And
I. Oh, go ahead.
oh no, I was just like gonna go off on on how good his gen was, but yeah, what are you about to say?
Oh, I was about to say is like, oh, dude, I don't have that. I would say I don't have that type of time, and the, I don't have the godlike skills that he has. But to see like my character be elevated up because somebody like Shen put so much time into him, it makes me more hopeful about choosing characters that I like over characters that are all the way in the top tier or are agreed upon as the top tier, you know. But other than that, I finished Outlast 1 and its DLC. Gotta say, this game is probably one of the most gross things I've ever played. It is, it is.
Gross as in graphically gross, gross as in the gameplay is gross.
Everything. I would say, like, graphically, it looks nice. Like, you could see people's wrinkles on their faces and stuff. But when I say gross, I mean, like, you ever watch Saw? You ever watched Saw before, dude?
Yeah, I've seen some of the Saw movies.
Yeah, you know, like some of the scenes are like really hard to watch because you know there's like people diving into like a pool full of like needles and stuff, like used needles. There's people getting their heads chopped off. Not it's not like Mortal Kombat. It's just uncomfortable to look at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, actually I had a recent experience like that in anime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've been watching Redo of Healer, Kaifukushi.
I've been saving that topic. I've been saving that topic for like two boomer talks. For like two boomer talks. But then like we always ran out of time. I wanted to talk about it because I was just like, dude, okay, this is not my cup of tea, but I'm not gonna stop you from watching it, you know?
I get where the story and I get the motivation. I
Mm-hmm.
just like outside of a pure hentai, I do not understand why you would need a 20-minute rape scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like
It
okay, I get what's happening. You like it's okay. You can end and move on the
mm-hmm.
storyline. Like you could have taken the first 3 episodes and compressed them down
Mm-hmm.
to probably two, maybe one if you
Mm-hmm.
rushed it. But I think two would be much more. It's like, man, this is. And I was making dinner, and my mom was like just right behind me. I was just watching this thing on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, eh. You
Oh,
let you get used to doing things.
yeah. I think it's because our minds are like desensitized to it because I don't know. I'll admit this. It's like, dude, I've watched some hentai. It feels like an anime. It feels like a hentai disguised as an anime. Cause on the front it looks like Konosuba. I think it looks like Konosuba, and then but when you watch it, it's a hentai. It's not an anime. But I'm not gonna stop you from watching it. It's like, yo, if it's out there, it's out there. Go ahead, watch it. I don't care. You know?
I'm just saying, like, it could have been this scene could have just been like 3 to 4 minutes, and we would have gotten the point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like no, it goes on for like the entire episode. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this does not end, does it?
But I guess the entire anime is about that. It's like I don't really care. It's like hentai, you know.
That's like if you think about the original Fate Stay Night as a hentai game, did not have sex scenes this long. just,
I always thought like Fate hentai was like, it was like kind of wholesome. It was wholesome, you know. Like there would be like the build up, and then like you go on a date with the girl, you meet the girl, you talk with her, you get to know her, and then you get onto the hentai and stuff because you're madly in love with this girl or some shit. I thought it was like super wholesome, but I've never played any of the Fate hentai games or whatever, so I don't know what it's like. But that's my idea of it when I think of Fate,
no.
No.
No, it gets much weirder
Oh.
than that.
Much weirder than the Sakura scenes.
Yeah, especially once you get to the Sakura Shinji end scenes.
Oh, wonderful. Wait, wait, are you talking about like the part where they toss her into like the bug pit or something?
Yeah, it gets much more explicit when you go deeper into the lore, especially with the original game.
Oh, wonderful.
But I feel like Utaware Mono, the hentai scenes exist, but you can cut them out and the game would not change. I feel like you would actually enjoy that if you buy the clean Steam version, because it's mostly because it's actually a strategy RPG.
Yeah,
it's actually a real game as it is, and the story is amazing too. It's like, oh hey, like you can go drinking with some of your generals after the battles, and then you guys can have like after battle fun.
Well, that's how soldiers celebrated, right? I mean,
version you don't get those scenes. I'm pretty sure there's a mod where you could bring them back in. But
yeah,
actually a really good game that you can actually just play.
Yeah. But getting back to Outlast, I would say it has everything disgusting about it. It has like the goriness. I'm surprised this game wasn't canceled. I'm surprised because there's a lot of cancel-y stuff in here that I'm not sure if I could talk about like on stream. Like some of the scenes were like hard for me to watch, and then like I'm like a horror aficionado on this kind of stuff, But yeah, like I almost lost my lunch a couple times. It was pretty tough to watch, but it was actually scary. I would say it's more scary than any Resident Evil, Evil Within, Fatal Frame, and Silent Hill. Like in my honest opinion.
It's interesting, right? Because I feel like beyond Resident Evil 2, a lot of the survival horror elements are lost past number 2.
I would agree with you there.
Because I think it becomes a lot more actiony.
Yeah.
Post 2.
Yeah.
And this idea that like no, you better run. This idea like oh shit. Especially like Resident Evil 1, you get caught in a bad corridor and then you hear the dogs, you're like, oh god.
And then sometimes killing the zombies isn't always a good thing, because I know they resurrect as like, I think they're called like crimson heads or something, and they become faster. They zoom across the fucking room. They move at like twice your speed, and then they do like a lot more damage. And then if you killed them previously, the body stays there. But then when you come back to the mansion, it resurrects as a crimson head, and it becomes considerably harder to deal with.
You're gonna play Outlast 2.
Outlast 2, yeah, I'm playing it right now. It's like 100 times more offensive. Like,
it's like they had to outdo themselves.
Dude, they did. I don't know what they're gonna do for Outlast 3, but Outlast 2, I'm even kind of cringing at some of the scenes because it's something. It's something. But like the core. What was that?
It's a gory, bloody mess.
It's a gory, bloody mess with every possible thing you could probably be canceled for inside this game. It's everything. It's so offensive that normally a person like me who's not offended by anything at all, I'm even offended by this kind of stuff. It's just like, whoa, take it back a little bit, Take it back. It's a little bit too much. Oh, like, I'm not even sure if I can describe one of the scenes. I can't describe. Fuck, dude. Oh,
You can't describe this theme, but you're playing it on stream, aren't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I'm playing it on stream, but it's happening to me. It's happening to me, you know. But there's a lot of, oh man, I can't even talk about. I'll just talk about like the gameplay. The gameplay. Okay, we're gonna move on to the gameplay. We're gonna move on to the gameplay. But the reason I feel like this is one of the scariest games ever is because you can't fight. You cannot fight any of the monsters that are like stalking you or are walking around the asylum or the desert. You can't fight them at all. And it's very, very dark in this game. It's very, very dark. So your only source, your only tool to look through the shadows is your camcorder, which has night vision. And that night vision is limited based on how many batteries you have. Like, you find batteries as you go through the game. But if you run out of batteries, you're going to be walking around in the dark. Like, I'm not talking about, like, you can maybe see, like, some of the shapes of, like, the mountains and stuff. I'm talking about pitch black. You can't see anything until something pops up and scares you. It's awful.
Oh, interesting.
It's absolutely
Oh,
awful.
so they actually, so it doesn't matter if you cheat by turning up your brightness. You just
It's completely dark. You're completely fucked. Like, I tried turning up the brightness and then it doesn't help. It doesn't help at all, dude. Oh, but I would say it's providing me with like a lot of jump scares, and for the first time, I'm actually scared of a horror game. I'm actually scared of a horror game because for the other games, I was scared for like maybe like the first 5 minutes, and that was it. Like, I got used to it, and I was done. I was done. I didn't get scared anymore. But for this game, I am constantly scared. I'm constantly put into a space where I'm uncomfortable in terms of like how the environment looks, what the story is like, how disturbing some of the creatures look. All of them puts me into a very uncomfortable space, and then just when I think I'm like relaxed, or just when I think, you know, I'm safe in a certain area, bam, there's a scare. Bam, there's a scare. Bam, there's another new threat. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. But
it's interesting because, was it if you just look up some of the gameplay footage, the first one that pops up is like, oh hey, there's a torture scene and there's full frontal nudity.
Yep, there's a lot of nudity in this game, and they don't pull any punches. They don't pull any punches. There's boobs, there's vajayjays, there's peepees, there's a lot of peepees. Did I mention there's a lot of peepees?
A lot of the torture scenes involve peepees.
Yeah, there's a lot
And
of peepees. Buzzsaws?
Buzzsaws are peepees.
Yep, yep. Oh, you can't even turn your camera away. It's like they force you to watch it.
I'm gonna guess that in that scene, because you're playing in first person mode, that that the guy locked your head in place.
Yes, yes. Like, at
So
first you can kind of like move your head around so you don't have to look at it, but then like the game forces you to look at it. It forces you to look at it. And I'm just like, every time I play the game or I stream, I'm just like, am I gonna get banned? Am I gonna get banned? Because you're not supposed to so the Twitch policies say you're not supposed to focus on nudity. But what happens when the game forces you to look at the nudity? Like, I can't do anything about it.
It's the what was it? One of the StarCraft streamers was playing Cyberpunk, and then he's like, oh, like this scene can't be that bad. And it's like, and then he put on his like AFK screen, like we can't be showing that on screen. I was like, wait, I have to mute this thing too because he was like worried about me.
Yeah, I think HP Domo stopped by, and then he was watching it for like a good while, and then he was just like, man, this isn't scary, this is just gore porn. And then like, he's right for the most part. Like, I feel like what he's saying is true, but it's also scary because that gore puts me in a very uncomfortable space that I'm not really used to, you know, and it just makes it all that much more scary. It puts me in a really, really bad space.
I guess it also depends on if you categorize gore porn as a type of horror.
I think there's like a category for that. There's definitely a category for it, I think.
Or is gore porn can be a part of horror but is not horror in and of itself.
I would say the second option. Definitely the second option. I don't think gore porn by itself is very scary, but then when you match it up, because that doesn't make it scary. That doesn't make it scary. Like, there's this stereotype that I guess more gore makes it more scary. But that's not the case. The gore is there to put you in a bad mindset, Like I'm not used to seeing this. That's why it disturbs me, and I don't like looking at. Therefore, I will not look at it. But the thing is, it's around you all the time in this game, and it forces you to look at it to put you in that space. And then on top of that, it's like they have like tons and tons of characters that are genuinely terrifying. There's a monster that is like Mr. X, except he's like a hulking mass that is like a cannibal and stuff, and then he stalks you throughout the game during like certain segments and stuff, and he's pretty vicious. He's pretty damn vicious, you know. But
Is he the one with the soup pots and body parts?
I think so. I think so. He has like sharp teeth. He has sharp teeth and then blood on his face, and he's got like chains on his ankles and his arms and stuff. But he's like in the front. He's in the front of Outlast 1. You can see him. But Outlast, it's a good game if you like horror. If you like horror and then you want to get scared, play that game. But I will also warn people that it is very, very offensive. It is very, very offensive. It doesn't pull any punches.
Truth be told, it actually sounds like if you enjoy Silent Hill,
Mm-hmm.
you'd probably enjoy Outlast.
No, I don't think so. Dude. Silent Hill is a very, very personal story. It's a very, very personal story, and you have to make those connections by yourself. You have to make those connections in terms of like how the characters are interacting with each other, why they're there and stuff. This one, it just puts you into a slasher flick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because on the surface they seem a bit similar, right? Because it's a lot of gore to trigger your disgust response while also making combat impossible if not difficult.
Yeah. But I never. Oh, go ahead.
Response.
Yeah. I can understand that. But it didn't. Whenever I played Silent Hill, I didn't feel disturbed by the gore. Yeah, I didn't remember feeling disturbed by the gore. It was like I was very much more entranced with like the story. For Outlast, it's just like visually, it's terrifying. Visually, it's really gross. And as you go more towards, like, you want to stop playing the game. You want to stop playing this game as soon as you pick up this game because it's completely terrifying. Silent Hill it's like a slow burn. You're kind of like a detective. You're trying to find out what happens next and stuff, you know?
Yeah. I guess Silent Hill keeps you involved because you're also very personally attached to the characters as well.
Yeah, that too. You can really relate to any of the characters. For this, it's like you don't relate to any of these people. These people are just psychotic maniacs. They're just psychotic maniacs, man. It's scary. It's super scary.
Like, if you don't own a shotgun, you do now.
Yep.
Colorado like the plague.
Yeah. Yeah. But the last thing I will say about this game is like, unlike Mr. X, who stalks you for the first half of the game, like he will follow you through like rooms and stuff. This game only has certain parts where the killers actively stalk you. I wish if I made one change to the game, I would have made the change of having them constantly stalk you. As in, they could go. There's no safe place that you could go to. Like if you go into an event, they'll go into the event with you. They'll be following you no matter what, and you have to be ahead, and then you have to hide in places. And I want them to have like fucking eagle eye vision. I want to be terrified. Like I was with Mr. X in the RE2 remake and the RE original game. But okay.
Concept, because if you I think it should actually kind of go both ways. There should be areas where the monsters are on patrol and they go in the area, and then select a number of monsters that if they see you, they'll continually chase you until you can hit a certain level of hide, I guess.
Yeah, but then like it's an old game. It's way before RE2 ever existed, so I give it a pass. I'm not even.
How old is Outlast?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's like before 2010. Let me double check. Outlast release date.
Steam. Oh, Outlast 2. It says 2017. What does Outlast say?
2013. Yeah, that's a pretty old game.
That's still significantly newer than Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Not the remake. I mean the original Resident Evil.
Oh yeah, but then the stalking mechanics in like RE2 remake were perfected. or that was like the perfection of like the stalking monsters and stuff, you know. But enough talking about Outlast. We're gonna move on to Street Fighter Five. I don't know why we keep talking about this game, but it's just it's in the news. It's the latest news for like fighting games, and I love fighting games. And as much as I don't really like Street Fighter Five that much, I still like talking about fighting games. There's a new system called V Shift, which makes a player invincible to throws, attacks, and projectiles at the cost of 1 bar VGOsh. It feels like comeback mechanics, you know? Like lots and lots of comeback mechanics.
That is interesting.
Also,
Just not just as a mechanic, but the fact that they would release a completely different mechanic in the same iteration of a game.
yeah,
It's because Arcworks did it with when Guilty Gear changed from Slash to Accent Core.
Yeah.
There was a ton of new systems added, and people were like, "This is essentially a new game at this point."
Yeah. yeah. But like it's on its last legs too. This should be like the last year that Street Fighter Five is gonna pop out new content, and then I guess we're gonna get Street Fighter Six by the end of the year. So it's a little bit surprising, but I guess they're going all out with the latest season of Street Fighter Five. Rose is out. There's like some gameplay of her. She looks like Rose. Like all her normals are the same and stuff. Like her character model looks very good. It looks very clean. Dan looks pretty fun, pretty strong actually. You know, I'm seeing like a lot of resets, a lot of mix-ups, a lot of setups for those and stuff. Dan looks like fun. That looks like fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm actually a little interested about what you said about Street Fighter 6 being announced later this year. Especially with the Season 5 pass, and they have, what, 4 new characters coming? 4 or 5?
I believe 5. We're gonna talk about the 5th one in a second.
Because if you're gonna be releasing 5 new characters, and without even giving them 1 year to sort of sit still and run tournaments and actually get some competitive play going,
Yeah.
I'd be really surprised if they actually announced a new game by then. But the seasons aren't free either, right? You gotta pay like $10-15 ish to download all the new DLC.
Yeah, but they just did I think Street Fighter Five Arcade Edition or something, where it comes with all previous characters, all previous costumes up until the last season of Street Fighter Five, which is kind of nice. It's like for $20 to $40 depending on if it's a sale day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on because then I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to 5 at all.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's just fighting game news. I like fighting games. I know you like fighting games. It's just fun to speculate about.
That's why it intrigues me that they have this new defensive mechanic because, well, I haven't been paying attention to 5. I don't know how its offense works, and I can't even speculate on what difference this would make.
Maybe they were listening. They were listening to some of our complaints, because I remember, I think I was one of the people who was like complaining like this game doesn't have like a lot of defensive options, and then maybe they listen. Maybe they listen to like all the people, like not just me, but like all the pros that were complaining that there weren't many defensive options in this game. So that's kind of nice.
I'm also curious to see whether what is the issue with defense right now? Is it zoning defense, like where you're in neutral and defending in neutral is really difficult, so you're better off just going balls to the wall and pushing buttons?
That's precisely it. I don't think there's much of a neutral game. You have to be all up in their face or completely far away, one of those two. But the last character. Who do you think the last character is, Matt?
Oh, can't.
Just take a random guess, your best guess.
I was about to say Elena, but she's already in game.
Well,
it's on, isn't it? It's gonna be on, isn't it?
it is 11. It's 11.
As in 12? 11? Third strike?
Correct. Because
Oh shit!
Street Fighter 5 takes place before Street Fighter 3, and we got 11. And the crowd.
Shark thing go on his forehead.
Yep. And the crowd goes mild. I don't think anybody wanted this. I love Third Strike to death, but who the heck asked for this? Who asked for 11? Who asked for 12? Why? Why would you do this?
if you make 12 a decent character, I think it could work.
Mhm.
The main problem is on the preview, it makes him look like a clone character.
It does. Like Mokujin or
Like,
something, you know?
well, like why can't I just go to random select if I'm gonna play this character?
Exactly. Exactly. I think Flo made a really funny joke where it was like I think he said something like, "Oh, maybe 12 will be good if he can transform into Street Fighter 3 Chun-Li."
I mean, here's the thing though, right? It's not that 12 or anybody, even Alex, is that terrible. All they need is some tweaks to their frame data,
Mhm.
and I think they would be much better characters if they could get those tweaks.
Mhm. Mhm.
Or maybe just like slide the hitbox over a little bit this way, or just move it just a little bit this way.
Mhm. But like at the same time, it's like 12, man. Every time somebody plays 12 on like a Street Fighter 3 stream, it's just like, "Oh, maybe you can pick X copy and he'll transform into a better character."
That's true. Like, the way I play 12, like I could easily just pick Chun-Li and play with the same buttons.
Oh my god. Why Capcom? Why? But it's their game. It's their game. Okay. Okay. Enough talking about Street Fighter 5. This is making me sad. I really don't know what else to say. Let's just move on to the news.
I was so happy to see Akira, but
Wait, what? You're happy?
I actually really like Rival Schools.
Mhm.
To say like, hey, if it ended at Project Justice, I'm happy because hey, look, we ended with a good game. It's
Mhm.
fine.
Mhm.
Leave it as it is.
Yeah.
Let its legacy lie where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. I feel that. Okay. Okay. We're moving on to the news. First we're gonna start with the arcades in Japan struggling because of the COVID restrictions. Because we know that a lot of businesses are having a rough time at the current moment. This particular business is very near and dear to my heart. The arcades in Japan are not. They are not getting any compensation. Not like bars, not like restaurants. They have to adhere by COVID restrictions in terms of like closing down early. Otherwise, they risk a fine. In a statement from Yusashi Fukumachi, who is the manager of the Tokyo Arcade in Hokkaido, usually after 6 p.m. until midnight is the most profitable time. Now we have to close at 8 p.m., which means we lose our 4 most profitable hours. The government is doing nothing to help us out of this hopeless situation, and our income has gone down by more than half. This is horrible. Now, while arcades are not an essential business, I feel that it is an important part of our cultural history for both the East and the West. But with the advent of home consoles and online play, as well as more prominent ways of playing fighting games such as Fightcade, NullDC, Parsec, I'm not exactly sure if they can survive given the COVID restrictions. What are some of your thoughts on that, Matt?
I mean, it's gonna be rough.
Mm-hmm.
I know that even with Japan has a relatively lax lockdown restrictions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know I have friends who are bartenders over there, and they've seen a significant drop in their income, and it's usually not just because of restrictions. It's also because people are going out a little less.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. People are still scared of the COVID. Like I can understand why people will want to stay home, but at the same time, I don't want to see like these arcades like closing down because arcades were already a struggling industry even before the pandemic hit. I always thought,
These smaller ones, for sure, yeah, they were losing more and more share to just home gaming and and mobile gaming.
yeah, yeah. I always thought they were operating at a loss, just given my early experiences playing fighting games over at LA Family Fun Center, the Metro Islands Garage, and Fisherman's Wharf's Warehouse Arcade, as well as the more current arcade areas such as Southtown Arcade and Game Center in San Mateo, which closed at around 2015, I believe. The arcade scene died off really fast after the home console was introduced in the West, even before online play, I think.
It's a little different because for sure the business taxes are much less over there.
Mm-hmm.
If so, then their main expense is mostly rent.
Yeah.
But if you're in the middle of Tokyo, that's gonna be fairly expensive. Not as bad as the Bay Area, but it's gonna be hefty.
Just something to note. In Japan, it was like a steady decline for like arcades. In 1989, they had around 22,000 arcades, and in 2019, they are at 4,000. 4,000 arcades left in 2019. Some of the most notable places, such as Akihabara's Sega Arcade, Adore's, and Ikebukuro's Silk Cat Arcade, all closed. The last one being closed on January 11th, 2021. That's just last month, dude.
Yeah, so Sega, I believe, they've just pulled out of the arcade business completely. I mean, I don't like it, but it's just the truth at this point. I know that the arcade players, particularly the old fighting game heads, they've been jumping in to save their player base and their locations as best they could.
Yeah. I think they've been trying to like branch out to like different areas to help promote arcades and stuff. Like I know Daigo does a lot of stuff like outside of fighting game competitions in terms of like writing books and the importance of like arcade play and stuff, which is greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. I wouldn't want this, I guess, subculture to die, you know?
There's also things like the Vampire Savior community. What they do is everyone who lives around the Tokyo area, they will meet up twice a week. And they will all go to a single arcade that's preset, and they schedule everything usually a month ahead, and they will specifically visit arcades that have the Vampire Savior machine.
Yeah.
And run their like casuals, or they'll actually run a tournament there every like twice a week. They rotate between all these arcades to make sure that these guys have at least that sort of steady income that will come in like 3 times a month. And I think the 3S guys are doing the same thing. Like they're trying to set up regular meetups at Newton. Like, hey, if you guys got the day off, like, you know, we gotta close up by 8 o'clock, so let's meet up earlier in the day if we can.
So that's why they're running like the tournaments and stuff, right?
And I think Newton, they're not running the tournaments. That's why the Co-op Cup was the first to 10 exhibitions.
Oh, okay. Which isn't bad, you know. If arcades can survive any way they can, I'd be. But
they could make the machine gets consistent play, and they're putting in money every single time.
I'd be happy to support it, you know. Like I loved watching Co-op Cup. I loved watching like all these old players, old pros playing the games they love. You know, that's what it's all about.
I mean, they're doing what they can, right? Because this is the business, and then I know there's also the thing that they don't like. Hey, we don't want to be begging for your money. We want to be providing a service.
I understand that.
They're providing a place to play, and then they're getting their players to play there, and then they're just doing everything they can to keep the thing alive.
But yeah, it's a sad case. As much as I don't want them to die out, I feel like we're gonna be moving along that future, especially since, you know, home gaming is gonna be like more and more prominent. It's more and more prominent now, especially with like streaming and stuff. Not really a reason to go to arcades anymore, and I have to accept that fact that arcades aren't gonna be around forever, and it's sad. It's sad, but like I guess the spirit is still there, you know. Fightcade, no DC, that kind of stuff keeps it alive.
Was it the reverse edge of the rollback netcode?
Yeah.
Like the moment we knew that we had great netcode that we could actually play around the world with minimal interference.
There's no reason to go to arcades anymore.
Unless your local player base is just full of monsters, and this is the base that you want to play with.
Yeah. Like you want to take your game to like the next level, this is probably who you will want to practice with and stuff, you know. Yeah,
but I think like StarCraft players do that too. Like, was it a lot of the pro players don't really play on the ladder?
They play on the PC bongs or something, right?
Yeah. So they group up and they just play custom games versus each other over and over again, rather than play on the ladder.
Yeah, I get that. But yeah. We're gonna move on to the next subject, even though I want to talk more about arcades, but we're short on time. We gotta keep moving on. Yesterday, McDonald's and the Pokemon Company launched a promotion celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Pokemon phenomenon. As a part of the celebration, McDonald's issued a special commemorative Happy Meal box-styled after Pokemon League Pikachu. The box itself is adorable, but there's something even better inside. A special booster pack of Pokemon trading cards, each pack containing 4 cards, and there are 50 cards to collect in total. 25 regular cards featuring Pokemon characters and 25 foil versions of the same card. Problem is, many parents and children are finding it impossible to actually get any of these cards when buying a Pokemon Happy Meal because adult collectors and scalpers are swooping in first to grab them all up for themselves, or worse, trying to sell them on eBay or Twitter. A simple Google or Twitter search reveals how crazy things are, with some people boasting buying over a dozen Pokemon Happy Meals at a time just to get the cards. Any thoughts on that, Matt?
Yeah, you say to the kids like, get good scrub.
Really? You gonna pick on kids, dude? Oh man.
I'm half joking, but like, what did you expect, right? Pokemon's a massive IP, which is beloved by adults and children. But there's one group who has money and one group that doesn't. What did you expect to happen?
Yeah. But I don't know, man. This is like taking candy from a baby, dude. It's like I understand people like Pokemon, but there's like official merchandise for us. There's like tons and tons of Pokemon cards out there that we could be buying and stuff. Like,
but they're not limited like McDonald's.
I guess. I mean, apparently there were people waking up early for these Happy Meals and throwing out the meals. One manager noted he donated the food instead of throwing it out after a customer ordered 50 Happy Meals but didn't want the food. Another started placing a limit on how many each customer could buy. Like just to put things in perspective, the average price for Happy Meal is around $3.76 in the United States. But the
really?
Yes, that's the average. According to Google, it's $3.76, which is about right. But the average price per Pokemon pack being sold on eBay is around $5 to $10 per pack. The Happy Meal food contents amount to around $3. Like, I would think because like the burger's $1, the small French fries like $1 to like 50 cents or something, and a drink that's also $1, so it's like $3. So technically, the Pokemon pack is sold at like 75 cents if I were to break it down.
Have you spent all of your stimulus check yet?
No. Dude, what are you, crazy, dude? It's super tough right now. I'm saving all the money I can, dude. I can't be spending money on like Pokemon cards. Like maybe if I had like more money when I was a kid, I would have splurged and then got more Pokemon cards. But dude, like I'm like at the stage where I feel like less is more. And then like I don't want my room to be cluttered up with like all sorts of different merchandise. I know there's like some people who are like that, who still love collecting merchandise and putting in their room. It's a little bit too much for me sometimes. Like it's a lot to clean. It's a lot to keep track of. I could be like doing something else in my meantime compared to like a simplistic space where I could just vacuum a bit and I'm done.
I'm just saying, flipping some limited edition Happy Meals might be more lucrative than Bitcoin at the moment.
Yeah. What, did Bitcoin go down?
No. Bitcoin's up like 25%. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. You said it might be better than Bitcoin. I was like, wait, is Bitcoin going down? I don't understand.
Bitcoin went up 25%, right?
Yeah.
Flipping a Happy Meal is like 300% because I could buy the Happy Meal for $3.50 and I could flip it for 10 unopened.
Yeah. But I get it. I get it. The fucking Pokemon is a part of our generation's childhood. I think a majority of people and artists I know in the artist alley focus primarily on that. The nostalgia is probably getting to them and they have the money to spend on these packs that they don't really need. I don't have anything against collecting. In fact, I think this is entirely different from saying buying an anime figure or like a poster, like an actual piece of merchandise. This is like a nothing. I do remember the feeling of not getting the Power Rangers toy I wanted when I was smaller, when I was like 5, maybe 10 years old or something, during the McDonald's Power Rangers movies promotion. What happens today is we go to like the conventions and there are bins and bins of the same toys littering the conventions everywhere I go. They're like garage sale products that no one wants them anymore. What was the point of buying so many for adults back then? and depriving me of my Happy Meal toy back then. Like I think back to that kid, I'm like, I just want the Power Rangers toy. They're essentially worth nothing now. They're worth nothing now. Why did you have to do that? You know?
I think well, a lot of it is just guys who are flipping at the moment.
Yeah.
But that's just people, if they see demand and they're gonna flip. I mean, they were doing the same thing with PS5s. They were doing the same thing with graphic cards, right?
Yeah.
I will say shout outs to the. I'm pretty sure that that's a franchise owner who was able to donate the food.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of places where the regulation is, if once the food is sold,
It's not your responsibility anymore.
no, like you cannot legally give that away anymore because it's eaten food, like it's like used food. You can't just donate and give it. You actually have to trash it because it's not legal for you. It's like the legal definition of it is, you can't go to a restaurant, serve something, and if the customer doesn't touch it, you can't just like take it and serve it to somebody else.
Yeah. I understand that. I understand. It's just like the law, but it's like a lot of wasted food there.
Oh, so shout out to that guy if he was able to do it, especially if the food was untouched and still warm.
I will say I agree with the point that this article is trying to make, in which adults should probably just pull back just a bit. Just a bit. I know everybody's hurting for money right now, and I feel you. I feel you, man. But,
Go back to buying GameStop.
Yeah, go back to buying GameStop. Go get the stonks. Go get the stonks, dude. Just let the kids have their toys, dude. Like, I don't want, like, every kid to be like me, where it's like, I'm wondering why I didn't get a toy with my Happy Meal. Like, after I went to go see the Power Rangers movie or something, you know? And I would imagine it's the same for, like, kids these days, right? They just want their toy. Probably even...
No, I'm surprised that they did not recognize the demand.
Oh, like how they underestimated how popular Pokemon was?
Because I'm pretty sure that the cards are printed locally.
Yeah. I would think they're not very high quality cards either. I wouldn't think they're very high quality cards.
I will put this out there that even modern, I think the last 3 years of Magic the Gathering, the card quality has definitely taken a steep dive.
Yeah, they bend a lot more easily now. They wrinkle a lot more easily, I think.
Oh no, they come bent. Yeah. Like you open the pack fresh is bent, and you're just like, oh, what are you doing, guys?
Oh man, I hated that feeling. I absolutely hated that feeling. You spent, like, it's a hefty amount of money too. It's a hefty amount of money. Like, it adds up. You buy, like, I think the last time I bought, like, a card pack, it was for, like, Yu-Gi-Oh or something, and then I think it was like $4.50 to like $5 or something. Like, once you buy like 5 of them, that's like $25, dude. That's a hefty amount of money for like some pieces of paper and stuff, you know. I think it was even more like when I was a kid, when Yu-Gi-Oh first came out, or when Pokemon cards first came out. They were like $6 or $7 a pack or something, right?
Like that. I mean, I never got into those games, so I don't know how the system works. But I can tell you how Magic works is only if there's this gameplay type called Standard.
Yeah.
Which is the most supported type. What it is only like the latest 3 boxes in circulation are valid for tournament play, essentially. So I play a format called Legacy, which is we get to play everything from way back when.
Yeah.
Which makes our deck super ridiculously strong and overpowered, but it's kind of fun because it's like going from Street Fighter to Guilty Gear, where it's like I can do so much more with this.
Yep. I think
it's not like the cards are also really expensive.
Yeah. You have to have like some really pretty expensive cards in your deck to even compete, I think. Even in like Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like I think there was like a Blue Eyes Revival pack, and then the problem was there was only 1 card in that entire pack. So I think it was like 7 cards per pack, but then there were 100 cards in the set, and only 1 of those cards was useful for tournament play. Just 1. It's a very, very expensive hobby.
I think overall too, when I think about it, the Legacy deck actually cost me less than trying to keep up with Standard. Because at the end, you're probably throwing several hundred to a couple thou on every season to keep yourself tournament like competitive. And if you're playing at that rate, it's like you could play for like 2 or 3 seasons, and you would have just gotten yourself like a Legacy deck that you could have been playing forever.
I think Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of doing like a monopoly right now. Like, I don't know too much about like Yu-Gi-Oh competition, but I know there's like a ban list like on a lot of cards, and they don't have like this sub league where you get to use like whatever you want or whatever, because some of the cards are actually way too powerful. But just getting back to the subject of reselling like these Pokemon packs, I feel like there's like a trend. There's like a trend of like just reselling and scalping as of late, since I kind of see parallels with this and the recent shortage of the RTX and Radeon cards, as well as the Mad Rush for the PS5s. Not necessarily to use the product, but rather to just resell on eBay and make a quick buck. It's like it's a trend that I don't really like. It's kind of taking advantage of the target audience for like these products who are already hurting for money, but they're trying to find ways to keep sane, to keep entertained at home, like not only for themselves but also for their families in terms of like entertainment. Like I know that sounds like a stretch, but a lot of people are at home right now, and I would like to think, a lot of them want to spend time together with each other. And then one of the best things to do at home, I think, would be to like either play a video game thing together, or watch a series together. In this case, it would be like Pokemon. It's like brings people together and stuff. And
Hey kids, you want to play Outlast?
I'm never gonna say that to my kids. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
the other thing too is it's not that there's just more people. You have just a shit ton of people with nothing but free time at the moment, right? You like that your business though, and you're trying to look for ways to gain some money. And like, what's the one of the easiest things to do is to flip in demand items.
I guess, but then I would think like they have like they have like a job already. They have like a job already, so then it's like they're looking for entertainment. They don't want like more work to do. It's like when you spend time with your family, it's like you want to do something relaxing or calming or something everyone in your family can kind of get into. Like just citing the spike in streamers and viewership on Twitch and YouTube gaming and stuff, you can see like there's a lot of people who kind of want to get into this. Yeah, they just kind of want to get into it, but then like streaming requires very very hefty equipment. Just from making these videos, like given my own experience, just from editing and doing the Boomer Talk stuff, as well as just streaming games and art, for someone to take away my ability to buy that equipment and then further rub salt in the wound by selling it to me at an even higher price, it's just a slap to the face, dude.
I'm not just worried about the people. It's not just the people who still have work, right? Because there's a lot of people who don't, who've literally been locked out of their jobs and businesses. So now it's like, okay, well, you have nothing but free time, so you're just watching trends
Yeah.
move up and down.
Yeah.
You one wind of like, hey, I can make a quick buck doing this. It's like, yeah, man, there's a lot of people out there who are doing that.
Yeah. As much as I want to believe that everybody has like the entrepreneur spirit, I would think like most people are just kind of waiting to either go back to work or they're waiting to get the next job or whatever, like, and between those jobs, it's like they're looking for ways to distract themselves. When you think about like how many copies like Demon Slayer has sold, which is, as far as I know, it has outsold the original three. So we're talking Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece by twice the amount.
Combined. Here's the thing, though. We don't even know the American, the overseas sale numbers.
But
That's just the domestic Japanese ones, and they've already crushed the entirety of the American comics market.
yeah. But like I feel like just from those numbers alone, it's like people are looking for ways to like distract themselves from like all this political stuff, all this cancel culture, all this just really really depressing things, really depressing things that are like happening right now, and these scalpers are kind of barring us from that. It's providing those people with like another problem. It's like they can't catch a break. They want to do one thing, and then there's like a paywall right there, all set up for them. And then I guess my heart goes out to these people. My heart goes out to these people because I'm probably one of them. Sometimes
Although one of the interesting things, though, is if you're just talking about the Japanese manga sales, though, is that they've actually haven't locked down. So people there are still working. So it's a bit of a different situation.
Okay, that's my mistake then. That's my mistake. I think. Right, I think like just scalpers just kind of upset me a little bit. They rub me like the wrong way and stuff. So Yeah, I just want to call a little bit of attention to that. Just a little bit of attention to that. You know, just pull back a little bit. You know, you don't have to buy like things you don't need, especially if it's for like a target audience of like kids and stuff. Like I know it's part of your childhood and all that junk. Fantastic. It was part of my childhood too, but you know, let the kids have their toys. Let the kids have their toys.
I don't think the scalpers even care about Pokemon. Like if you are a born and bred, you know, scalper and reseller, you don't care what the item is. You
Oh
just
yeah.
know that there's limited supply.
Yeah.
So the main thing is like, okay, I'm gonna choke up the supply on purpose because I want to drive up the price.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You know, it's just taking advantage of like the target audience, and I don't like it.
I think I told you this that I sort of blame Amazon and the other places for this too. It's like you should have seen this coming.
And you should have made more stock.
You know, you should have seen that bots would have been logged into the accounts and buying these things up like 1,000 at a time.
I would like to attribute that to, I guess, COVID restrictions and they're having like a limited supply. I mean, I didn't know that thing you told me last week about like the RTX cards having like a special metal, and apparently they can't produce more because they're still looking for more of the metal, but they can't look for more of the metal because of COVID restrictions and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
It's not just a special metal, right? Because all computer chips are essentially made of what? Silicone, rare earth metals, gold, a little bit of silicon.
Yeah.
And those are all just raw materials.
Yeah.
And so if there's a restriction on worldwide transportation, that also affects worldwide logistics, meaning you can't get supplies back and forth to places where you need.
Yeah. Yeah, that too, you know.
So if the silicone mine is in Brazil and they need to ship stuff to China for processing,
they can't do that.
Restriction, or China starts to hoard the silicone.
Yeah. And
decides to jack up their export tariff or whatever, and then suddenly becomes a bigger and bigger mess that you have to negotiate your way through.
Yep. It's no easy task to ship any of that stuff.
The industrial scale.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. But I don't know, man. It's just let the kids have their toys, dude. You know, you don't need to buy like 20 or 30 packs. Like I know there's scalpers out there, and then there's people who are like obsessed with their childhood. It's like you know, maybe buy like 2 packs. What?
Are those cards good?
No, I don't think so.
The cards themselves aren't even playable. Do they have limited edition art or anything?
I think the art's like slightly different, but it's pretty standard stuff, I think. Like the foils aren't I don't think I don't think they have like unique art. It's just foils of the regular cards. So there's 25 regular cards and then 25 foil cards. The foil cards are just foils of the regular cards. So it's like, yo, this is like nothing. This is absolutely nothing. This will be worth nothing. I still have my limited edition Mewtwo card that I got for watching Pokemon the first movie. It's worth absolutely nothing.
Unplayable.
Yeah, unplayable.
It's not playable at the competitive level. You can, like, if you really like the card, you stick it in some kid's deck, and your kids just want to play with their friends. Yeah, great.
Yeah. But it's like this limited edition stuff. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. Just let the kids have their toys. You know, it's gonna be worth nothing. It's gonna be worth nothing like all the Power Rangers toys that I wanted from McDonald's, like what 20 years ago and stuff.
So really, this is not an issue in McDonald's Australia.
I didn't read that yet. What's going on?
Oh, no, I wanted to look up if there was any supplementary news, or if there's something that might have broke just within the hour or so. Because sometimes news can change. So it seems like Australia is not having the same Pokemon card scalper issue, but they have the donut hole McFlurry.
What is the donut hole McFlurry?
Do you know what the McFlurry is, right? It's like whipped ice cream with Oreos crushed into it.
Yeah.
They mixed in cinnamon bond donut holes and put that together.
That sounds horrible for you, but it sounds really, really delicious. I probably can't eat it at my age, but I'll probably eat it anyway.
It's one of those things that it's like, oh man, that's such a white trash dessert, but it's like, you know what?
Let's just do it.
It's pretty good too at the same time.
Yeah. Can't complain. I think we're rounding out. Yeah, we're rounding out at the hour mark. We just passed hour 7 minutes. So I think it's a good place to call it. Matt, you're gonna be offline, right?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna call for today because I'm gonna be working on the art team one. I'll be back on my stream tomorrow. Twitch.tv/NekoMimiPunks or sketch.pixiv.net
Correct.
at NekoMimiPunks.
Be sure to follow. Be sure to follow Nekomimi Punks. He draws a lot of the lewds. The lewds. And if you want to see the Nepales, go over to his Pixiv stream. When he streams on Pixiv.
It's usually dual casted. Pixiv exclusive streams are few and far in between because most of the time, I don't know. I'm much more productive when I'm not drawing on stream. I feel honestly. Because chat is just distracting, and then you have to keep your eye on viewer accounts and just trying to interact with them.
Yeah. It's tough. It's a learned skill, but if you keep doing it, it's like you'll get better and better at it. I have confidence. As for me, I think I'm gonna take a short break. Just cleaning myself up a little bit. Just got back from work. Gonna be playing maybe some Dead by Daylight later. With some Fightcade and Final Fight LNS with the boys later tonight. Anyone can join. Just send me a message over on Twitch or Discord, and I will include you in any of those sessions. Or show you how to run Fightcade or Final Fight. Final Fight LNS is 4 players, and I believe we have a slot open. So be sure to hit the follow button or the subscribe button for myself at 777SPTRIPLE7SP. Or Matt at NekoMimiPunks at NekoMimiPunks. It really does help us out, since we love doing this, and we'll be able to do more if you guys support us enough. You can also check out our VODs and previous episodes over at BoomertalkYT on YouTube. So be sure to check that out. Matt, you want to sign us out?
Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll catch you all next time.
We'll see you around, you guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Drop a tip. I'm gonna be using it to buy some Pokemon cards.
God damn it, Matt. God damn it. Okay, bye guys. We'll see you around.
Yeah, I need to fill some envelopes.
Stop it. We're closing the stream right now. We're closing it.